Hello, everyone. Welcome on in. It's time for our final foray. Moss, that game looks like such an adventure. Very impressive that you put it together in such a short amount of time. I could never. I could never put something like that together in that quick of a turnaround. That is quite cool what you put together. I would have joined, but I needed to make sure that things were going to be working on my end. Sometimes OBS is a little moody when I try to switch over to my Clowder Coup stuff. But hello everyone, welcome on in. I'm gonna be crashing out tonight. And it's gonna be a good old time. For anyone who does not know what we are doing here, and also for the sake of posterity, we are raising money for APOPO. They have trained hero rats that help detect landmines and deadly diseases like tuberculosis. And they are very effective at what they do. Like last time I checked the website, I believe they said that there is a 0% fatality rate in the landmine detection and controlled detonation process. So they do really good work, and that helps people in the area be able to reclaim the land that they can use for things like farming, which that's super important. So they do some really good work. And if you want to find out more about them from their website, you can visit that here as well. Make sure to have something so that you can check them out directly if you want to. But other than that, from my side of things, I've got crowd control up and running right now, so once we get into the game and into some levels, we can see what happens when we get in there. Should be a good time. Everything should be hooked up, so we are going to pop into a new game. But I hope everyone's had a wonderful day so far. Heading into nighttime for me, for sure. But it's been fun getting to pop in and out of people's streams throughout the day. See what everybody's been up to.
Free at last.
He's free. And he's got the evil villain voice, so you know that's a bad thing.
Uka is free?
No, it cannot be.
Evil, great evil has come.
Now playing through the trilogy version has been interesting. I'm pretty sure it is. I'm pretty sure they did recasting the voice roles for the trilogy.
It was that infernal bandit.
I will say I love how expressively animated everyone is in the Insane trilogy. Very cool.
You lost the gems, you lost the crystals, and I have lost my patience.
And from my personal experience, at the very least, I will say
I know we've had a few
the gameplay ultimately feels pretty close. Pretty close to the original in most ways. I think the only thing that really felt particularly different, at least for this game specifically, the third game, the jet ski levels, the physics on the jet ski are definitely notably different. They're not, the steering is not quite as tight on them. But look at this man. Look how smarmy he is. We never got that kind of attitude in the original.
has been freed from his underground
But yeah,
prison.
Spyro Reignited, I think, was that also Vicarious Visions?
Protect the world from his malice.
Because yeah, this is basically the same kind of concept where it's the original PS1 games and that era just remastered and the physics just updated.
Uka Uka and Cortex plan to use this time twisting machine to gather crystals.
Because I
that
know
may
Toys for
scatter
Bob
across
did.
time. I have brought you here.
They
to
did
make
Crash
evidence
4.
before they do. To open the time portal, simply
I didn't get a
stand
chance to
on a
play
button
the
and then
Spyro
jump
Reignited
onto
trilogy, so I wouldn't know for sure. But that sounds right, because aren't they making the new Spyro game too? I think I remember hearing some news about that being a thing. Okay. Let's get into some levels. I'm basically just going to try, and the goal is to get through all the levels.
Crash, crash.
Sorry, I gotta skip you, dude. You guys do a lot of talking, and this time slot does not account for too much talking time. Especially not if crowd control stuff really messes me up. See, I'm not gonna be going for all boxes or gems or things like that. Basically, my main reason to grab. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, I tested out the effects, but I don't know exactly how they all work. I just tried to find the ones that didn't seem like they were aggressively broken, because some of the effects just did not work correctly, so I had to take those out. But yeah, Moss, you gotta eat. Go eat. Definitely take care of yourself. I appreciate the stream, being able to raise some money for the hero rats. Super good stuff. But yeah, you've been busy this past day or two making that game, so go nourish thyself. So yeah, I try to have a mixture of in-game effects, and also, since crowd control now does the disrupts, I have some of those on there too to kind of help pad out, because some of the games that I use for crowd control, some of the, whoa, right, that's a thing. I think, yeah, that there is kind of an unintentional effect. I did notice that in my testing. If I leave a level with high speed, it doesn't play the animation for collecting the crystal. So I have to play through the level again to get it. So we run it back once more with feeling. This time we can do our triple mask at least. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, it's a crazy sabotage, and it's not even one that would necessarily be apparent on the surface. Yeah, you just skip over the animation trigger, I guess. Ooh. We're playing Quake Pro mode right now. You can see so much of the world. FOV activate for sure. Yeah, I try to leave a good number of effects up there. I think there's also some effects that are like, you can add or take away Wumpa fruit or boxes. I figure since I'm not going for 100%, see, like, that's where he's supposed to be to pick up the gem or the crystal. But since we drive straight over, it kind of goes a little bit farther out of that trigger range. Now, heads up, for the water levels, for some reason, most of the effects don't function. And I didn't do a super thorough testing of all of them, to see which ones work or which ones don't. So anytime I'm not doing just like a standard walking level, treat that with caution. The best I can do is just try to proceed through the level as expediently as possible. Which shouldn't be too bad, because I've been practicing by going back through and trying to get platinum time relics from these stages. Some of them are really evil. Like one of the secret stages in particular has a really, really, really strict timer. You have to follow this kind of crazy route to make it work. And it's one of the jet ski levels, so in this version of the game, it's even harder than it was in the original. At least for me. It just requires such specific routing. But yeah, I think when I was doing my run through to kind of de-rust, it did look like the time for me to beat the game with no crowd control effects, the going through with no crowd control effects took maybe like somewhere between 1.5 hours to 2 hours. So I figured that would be this would be a good option. This tiger time. But yeah, Crash 3 really started to get a lot of... I think even Crash 2... So Crash 1 had some levels where you had something like what we're playing right now with the hog riding levels. But then Crash 2, you started having vehicles in the middle of the stages, like you had like this sort of jet ski vehicle in Crash 2 that was in the more jungly stages. And then Crash 3 really just doubled down even harder on all the vehicle and auto runner type levels. Because Crash 2 also had the polar bear levels where you ride on this little polar bear's back, kind of similar to these. Hello? Level? Oh, we did that level. I should probably do the next level. I did also turn on the Ooka, Ooka. That's all he gets. No more out of you, Tiny. We'll get to you later. I do like how they handled these chase stages in the dinosaur-themed levels. I do think these play out a little smoother than Crash 2. But that's the benefit of iteration, I suppose. Because Crash 2 was either you had to be incredibly reactive to what was happening, or the alternative of just memorizing the route and just knowing when things are gonna come up. They did pull the camera out a little further ahead for the trilogy version, so you can see a lot better in this version of Crash 2. But in the original, you definitely have a much shorter time frame to react to what's happening directly ahead of you. Excuse me, Mr. Mudman, you're not taking me for a mud bath today. I see we got some donations, so I'll check and see. I know my thing, my Tiltify, my alert does have a bit of a cooldown on it, so I'll need to see if that's popping up or not. But I can check that after this level. We should be just about there. Yep. Cool, cool. And we made it to our team goal. Nice. Fantastic work, everybody. All right, thank you, Ninmoon, for the $25 donation. Much appreciated. Yep, there it is. There's the sound that lets me know things have happened. Yeah, Mix It Up has a 1 minute timer in between when it checks the Tiltify servers. So here we are. So if you're familiar with the original game's physics, you might understand what I mean when I say that the controls are a little more slippery, mainly in the sense that your back end is going to be kicking out a lot more to the side when you steer. So you got to be wary of your oversteer. So you're going to turn way wider than you normally would. So that's the only thing I can really say that I personally think is not quite as good in the trilogy. Everything else, though, as far as I can tell, seems really solid. Ooh, squeeze by there. Totally fine. No risk at all. Seems good. Definitely no sketchy maneuvers going on here. It's nice you can do your little air tricks while you're ramping, though. And if you're going for some specific boxes in particular levels, there will actually be some boxes that are below the water's surface. And you actually have to do a specific air trick. You have to do, I think it's the up directional air trick. And that pushes you into a dive under the water when you land. And I was like, the original game does not tell you these things at all. We get to see her victory dance because she got that gem. That's pretty fun. Rash. Yeah, the other thing we get in the trilogy version is loading screen tips. Say a level's got like a secret gem or something that you need to do something pretty specific to acquire. The loading screen in this game will actually give you a tip for it. Didn't have those in the original, you just had to figure it out. How floaty is my jump? It's pretty floaty. So now we get lion time. Just send them out here. Oh, big boy. Tiny's looking like more of an equal opponent now, huh? That's funny, he's like exactly the same size. Now I remember when I first played through this, I don't know if it's just me, but I had some trouble dodging these lions in specifically the trilogy version. I don't know if their hitboxes are a little bit larger than the original. But whatever the case, I make sure to give them a wide berth now. Oh yeah, the camera shake is kind of ridiculous too. I give them that as well. The real challenge, the real threat is not the lions, it's the earthquake that they cause.
Well done.
So that's our first world. Just keep on running through. Why? Pourquoi? I don't know, Uka Uka. You're gonna have to be a bit more specific with your question if you want me to answer it. I love when you have the invincibility going on. The wizards just stand there and watch you approach. Like, they can't do anything. And they know it. Very sad times. Oops. My bad. That's just me playing bad. Oh. The DVD logo is going. Yeah, they really are just... Well, I suppose my time has come. May as well face my death with some dignity. But yeah, this Crash 2 and 3 specifically. I gotta make some use of more advanced techniques to make these gaps happen. Scary stuff, not being able to move as fast in the air. But yeah, Crash 2 and 3 specifically are games that I grew up with and spent a pretty decent amount of time playing them. I definitely did not get 100% of everything just because there's so many like very elusive secrets. It's the kind of thing where you really have to be super investigative to be able to find them with no clues or hints outside of the game. The trilogy version definitely makes that aspect of things a lot more approachable. Because then it's not some super hugely hidden secret that only the absolute most astute players would find in any reasonable fashion. Oh boy, that is fast running. That is some fast running, oh boy. It's a little sketchy there. That's how I kill the scorpions that show up in my house too. Just put on the mask and go to town. Careful of that nitro crate. Can't sting me if I'm lightning fast. Excuse me, sir. I require passage to the next stage. Yeah, some of the time trials are really strict on their timing. Now these stages in particular are deceptively difficult for time trials in particular. Because like, welcome to this. You are now on a motorcycle. I do feel like the motorcycle handles pretty much how the original did. Oh, I suddenly feel less healthy. Some life has been taken from me. I'll just land on them, no big deal. I didn't test some of the effects in these levels, so I guess Big Crash doesn't even the playing field. Tragic. Nothing can save me. Yeah, these stages for time trials can be kind of tricky, because a lot of it is about holding on to those turbo boosts as much as possible, and you lose a lot of what little mobility you have when you actually hit those panels. So it's kind of hard to explain without having like played it yourself. But it is.
Good day, mate.
You die. He was just giving us a friendly little hello. Hey, how do you do? But yeah, this game is definitely very much a precision platformer. Aside from the stages where they decide to go more vehicular or auto runner. Yeah, we've got our greasy floors to kind of act like ice physics. Oh, big. He grows up so fast. I guess one other thing I tend to just kind of forget when I'm playing through these levels. I think the vehicle stages, at least the hog ride ones, I think those might mess with the masks. There are certain things that will reset your mask count back to nothing. Time trials will do that. Like the moment you start a time trial, your Aku Aku masks will be set to 0, which I suppose makes sense. Just kind of sets an even playing field to start with, and that way you don't feel compelled to try and enter the stage with advantage from a previous stage. You can just kind of go for it directly. Also, yeah, ancient Egyptian flamethrowers right there. Whoa, spinning out. I'm gonna wait for it. Oh, just barely. I misjudged the spacing just the tiniest little bit. It did give us our first. Whoa! My spin. That was an inopportune time to lose it, but how did that happen? I don't know how I bounced off of them. Gonna be honest. That was a little sketchy, but I guess it worked out. What's this last stage? There's another tiger level. In we go. See, like using the dash to break through certain obstacles? I don't think I ever tried doing that. I think I always avoided everything. So I have no idea what I could actually break through safely. So I'm just not going to. I'm just gonna fall in a pit instead. Much safer. Yeah, dashing constantly is a bit of a risk, but for the time trials, you definitely want to be dashing literally any time you possibly can, because you need that speed to get through fast enough. I think it's an interesting challenge. Oh, floaty jump. Interesting timing, Chaos Bot. I guess we'll see how that manifests. Ah, seems good. I can't say I've ever seen what would happen if I didn't grab the crystal, but the boss stage was still good. What?
Break out the butter. I'm gonna make
Toast, you say? Now what if I just completely ignored your boss gimmick? What if I just did that? Not just once, but twice. And not just twice, but 3 times, and also got burned in the process, so I have to do it again. My problem was I doubled back on my steps. So what you're normally supposed to do is have him basically break the barrier for you, and you kind of work your way in. But if you slide, jump, spin, you get enough height to just clear the wall entirely. So there you go. And we get a double jump. Now that's something that's new to Crash 3, is you actually unlock new moves as you beat the bosses. So Crash 1 has a pretty basic movement set. Crash 2 introduces some new stuff. Oh, I am invisible.
Well,
that's a place where you get water from. Oh, invisible's a little scary. But then Crash 3 introduces new moves that you get as you beat each of the bosses. So the first one we got from Tiny upgraded our body slam attack. I think it has a greater area of effect, but it can break through the reinforced crates that have like the steel X marks on them. Those are not breakable by regular spins or jumping on them. Outside of collection, I don't think I really ever use it for anything in particular, but I think it increases the range of it. Boss 2 giving a double jump, much more universally helpful. Also, we get to ride on a dinosaur. He's got a really high jump. Oh, that's close. That's a close-up right there. Oh, that's a close-up right there. Good luck seeing what I'm doing. Well, that was all scary. I don't know if y'all could see the steam vents I was dodging there. I did some crazy calculation for that. I did hear that we got another dono, so I'll take a super quick look at that here. Anonymous, thank you for the $10 donation. It's much appreciated. You know, I was contemplating playing through Crash 2 instead of Crash 3. Oh, this is gonna make the camera all sorts of messy. Oh no. Oh boy. I'm just gonna keep jumping and hope that that works. So I don't know if it's ended or not. I'm just gonna do this until we're through the chase sequence, just in case. Never mind. Okay, we're good. We are back to normal walking. Now, unintended side effect of moonwalking. Because the game checks which direction you're facing to tell the camera to move ahead of you. If you're walking backwards, the camera stays behind you. Can't say that's it exactly ideal for seeing where I'm going. Oh, it's so dark. I'm fading fast. I can't see the colors no more. It's so dark. Which stage am I going to? This one, Deep Trouble. There's another swimming level. Oh boy. It is dark in here. Oh, someone turned on the lights. We'll just say it's the headlights on the vehicle. At least for now. Crash's little scuba gear is so cute. Yeah, he gets all... You can't be diving without the proper equipment. Gotta dive safe, I say as I immediately take damage. Ooh, careful there. Don't want these guys poking me. Oh, you can get a real good look at his scuba gear now. Nice and big. Oh, watch those choppers. But yeah, I do like how they've added variety to the levels over the games. And of course, having a time travel element also helps to give a little more, I guess, justification for things. Hello, I'd like to swim to the right. That wasn't even crowd control, that was literally just me not swimming to the right. I think crashing the submersible does get him a little confused. I mean, I feel like I'd be confused too if my vehicle suddenly exploded underneath me. That's that thing you do with needle and thread, right? Oh yeah, fire. Whoa, 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 whoa. I was not expecting to take off like a rocket. Oh boy. That was fast jumps, huh? You know, what makes this even scarier is I can't see what effects are taking place. So I'm in the dark on this one. I don't know what's gonna happen to me at any given moment. Oh boy. It's getting scary out here. In what is definitely the city of Agrabah or something equivalent. Oh, we're sliding. Oh, we're falling. That was my fault. Oh no. No, don't put me in the jar. Oh. Oh no, he's putting me in the draw off screen now. Very immaculate goatee he's got though. Don't do it again. Oh, I'll get you. Hold on, I got you. I got you. Nightbot's a little strict. Yeah, some of these effects are just kind of wild. It does have me wondering like how much I should really practice when it comes to streams like these. Because oh boy. On one hand, it's like the surprise factor is enough on its own, but also if I haven't played the game for a while, there's the potential for it to catch me even more off guard. Though to be fair, I did play a lot of these levels a long time ago, yes, but I have played them a lot of times, so I imagine some amount of muscle memory would still hang around. Yeah, I fell for that one. Hook, line, and sinker on that one. Hello, sir. Goodbye, sir. I'll meet you in the middle. We'll have a little powwow. Oh. Oh, the spotlight. That definitely makes things a little sketchy. Hope there's nothing in front of me. Oh. Yeah, his shoes. I will say some of the death animations are really funny too. I think that's something else that gives him a little bit of extra character. As they came up with a good number of situational death animations for him. And it works out because he's just a silly, goofy little guy. So they can do silly, goofy little things to him, and it's okay. Yeah, a thought that I had earlier, I didn't finish it because something happened. I don't remember what at this point. Crowd control streams, really, the short-term memory just starts to get a little quick in how rapidly it clears out for the next things happening. But I was going to say earlier that I was contemplating playing Crash 2 for this instead of Crash 3, just because some of the levels have mines in them, and I thought it would be a little more thematically related than just Crash is a Bandicoot, which, if you squint hard enough, looks kind of like a rat. But I picked Crash 3 because with the abilities that we get, it would give me a little more flexibility if crowd control got a little crazy. Oh, hit the brakes, Buster. That's a killer turn right there. So yeah, the thing with the controls when driving the motorcycle is you start off with sort of a soft steering, and if you hold in a direction for long enough, you start doing like a drift. And it gets a little bit sketchy around some of these corners. But as long as you finish first, you get that crystal. Yeah, I have no idea what effects are getting thrown in here, so I don't know what to expect. Or if it'll have an effect on that stage. Back to the medieval ages.
Well, you've...
I've certainly done something. But sorry, Cortex. No time to talk. I gotta see these guys swing around 2 cooked chickens. While I am not allowed to spin. So no actions, I think, is anything that's not directly a platforming capability. So no spins, and I don't think body slams would be possible either. I don't think you can crouch, which means you can't slide. So you are basically just only relegated to running and jumping. I always forget. Moonwalk is really sketchy for this. How do I get, can I just, yes, I can use the wall. Okay, the wall is fine. That jump is really sketchy to go for if I try to do that with Moonwalk. It's scary. I don't know how well walking along the walls works in the original game. But I know that Crash 1, the rope bridge stages, you do something similar, just walking along the ropes themselves. It's tricky to line up, but if you can do it, it's a much simpler way of beating those stages. Just gotta go around these fellas here. Oh, my running is slow now. Oh, careful. Careful, buddy. You can stop casting magic missile at me now. Oh yeah. You can't spin them. I always forget about that, because I usually do just go around them. But with crowd control in effect, I feel a little nervous about being over an open pit for too long. Just in case awful things happen and I get dropped straight in. Which I would say is a fair concern to have. It's about how fast I run. Yeah, I'm not exactly a runner either. Oh, he's so tiny. Look at him. Look at that tiny crystal. I'll go run into a boss fight, tiny.
You little vermin are...
Vermin, am I?
Now you're on my time, you little skunk! Give me the crystals!
Oh boy. What a time for Moonwalk. See how this turns out. I have to jump toward him. Yeah, in the original version of this boss fight, the clocks he shoots at you are not color-coded. So you can't tell the difference between the ones that are going low and the ones that are going high. So you just kind of have to avoid them as best you can. They did change that for this version though. The red ones are low, the blue ones are high. Nice little quality of life change, I suppose. Pretty fun character design too.
My time is up, but yours soon will be too.
And he gives us a nice power up, the Death Tornado Spin. So instead of that short one-off spin that we can do, now we can do a continuous one. And that keeps us, it like reduces our fall speed a little bit, so we can cover larger distances.
Insignificant morons!
That's no way to talk to us. Uka's rude dude. Confirmed here and now. Man's got no respect. Oh, it's so dark in the temple. So dark in the Sphinxinator. Realistic lighting. Yeah, there's just no lights in here. I mean, I guess since there's these guys with the flamethrowers, we at least have some idea of who would have lit the torches, assuming there are any around. Just a little example of the death tornado there. Just be able to float over things. Wait for these doors. Don't want to get smooshed and squooshed. Grab that extra life, might as well. Oh, it broke his protective shell. I hope that mummy will survive okay in the wild without his shell. And sure, he'll be fine. There's probably plenty of them around here. You could probably find another one. Oh, he went in the pit. He's not gonna find another shell down there. Don't squish me. Scary times out here. I always worry about that guy pulling the lever a little too soon. And now for another new vehicle stage added to this game in particular. Yeah, we're just flying now. We're flying. We don't like these blimps. Because they got Cortex's face on them, so we gotta deal with them. I have to get used to these not being inverted controls after playing the original so much. We got health balloons. I'm not even going to begin to try to unpack how those work, because I have no idea how that functions in the sky. But we've got our little aileron roll that helps keep us safe from bullets, so it's fine. No worries whatsoever. And straight from that to a jet ski stage, too. Wow, they really love sewing around here. I will say, the music for these stages is particularly good. Like, I found a video that basically mashes up the original version of this song and the trilogy version, and oof, they sound really good together. Like, somehow the combined version... Oh, ow. I didn't see that boy there. I don't know if anybody will be able to tell what just happened. Something happened in the darkness. Yeah, somehow the combined version of both tracks together sounds, to me at least, sounds even better than either one of them on their own. Whoa. Speed zone. This certainly intensifies the feeling. This is a good example of game dev right here, actually. If you want to make people feel like they're going faster, just adjusting the field of view to be a little bit longer like that definitely helps. It sells the illusion that much more. And depending on the aesthetic of the game you're making, some trailing motion lines may also help, because you see on the boosts I'm getting like a little tiny bit of those speed lines. Speed lines are very effective. Ooh, that was a little sketchy. So yeah, we may not have mines in Crash 3, but we do have, well, I guess we have aquatic mines, not quite the same. Because Crash 2 does have straight up land mines in it. Funny enough though, they actually, they don't take a life off of you, they don't deal damage. What they do is they basically launch you in the air and then stun you briefly. And basically the only times they show up are during stages where you can't really afford to stop moving too much. Like those reverse chase levels. That's where they show up the most. But I guess we've got something sort of roughly equivalent in this game in a couple of fronts. You have the underwater mines, and then you have the bombs on the surface of the water. So I guess that kind of counts. Not quite the same thing though. Oh, my running is slow. Yeah. Gotta get some exercise, gotta get those hops in. Oh, floaty jumps, huh? We could do that. Floaty jumps work too. Oh, big crash. Crush those boxes. Like it ain't no thing. Take a nice little ride through the city here. Oh, I got stuck. Let me through. I gotta do my slide jump. Too fast. Speed kills. Be careful out there. Platforms are more of a suggestion. Now that is one thing I really love about Crash 3. Crash 1 and 2 definitely demand that you have some pretty decent hold of the mechanics by the end of the playthrough, because you are going to get some more challenging platforming. But with Crash 3, with unlocking more of these moves, you get a lot more flexibility in how you approach certain scenarios. Like you could time your approach to walk underneath that enemy, where you can jump over the top of them. And it's like you can slide and crawl under these, or you could do like a double jump death tornado over it. Flexibility is a lot of fun. I don't know what happened. Whoa, whoa! Did you see his big head when he's tiny? Oh no! I didn't know that happened. That's so funny. His head doesn't change size when he's spinning only. That's great. Oh boy, I didn't know that could happen. But now we know. Ah, that's interesting. See, stuff like that is really fascinating to me too. It's like kind of getting a peek into how the game works on a fundamental level. Like the fact that the size of his head is somehow, it's determined to be different while he's spinning. And I guess the crowd control effect does not affect that specific version of his head. Interesting. Now this one's a little sketchy. This stage is all about water levels, ebb and flow. You gotta be careful not to get caught in water that's too deep. Otherwise, Crash ain't gonna make it, cause like many platformer characters, this boy cannot swim. Unless he has his scuba gear, of course. Ain't no scuba gear here, though. And these enemies, that's really cool. That they stay flying when the water level rises. There's a lot of neat little touches like that. Very cool. Might as well take that extra life, why not? And then I think this might be the first time we've actually seen a filled-in death platform. So these you can only use them if you've made it to that point in the level without dying beforehand. It is a very pretty effect. Really just adds a little bit of extra to the decorum of this area. Whoa, whoa, we're speeding. Oh boy, hold on. Can I use that speed to get over this gap? Not quite. I figured I'd try it. See, now we've died and we can't go to that death route anymore. So that's a fun little element of challenge. Oh, speaking of elements of challenge, I think I know where I am. Get me on that platform. Thank you. A little scary there. Oh, Tiny Crash. We get to see his giant head while he spins. That might be one of my favorite things about this. Why is his head so big? Skip that man entirely. Oh. Is that time for my close-up? Oh, scary. I can't see the boxes. Alright, I gotta time this with the water level. Oh. We might clip through the ceiling just a tiny bit there, but it's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Hi, Kyo. Welcome on in. Love the Bandicoot games. Hey, me too. Not sure you could tell, but I definitely do. Welcome on in. Hope you've had a good week. Oh, I'm going for the biblical greed here. Whoa. Facet jumps. Okay. It's always kind of scary when I don't know if it's just for the jumps or if it's all my movement. Haven't played very many of them. Which ones have you played? Because there's a handful of Crash Bandicoot games out there.
So,
He's still talking about sewing. Hey Kyo, you might like this guy. That's the second time he's said so. Oh boy. So this is when Crash 3 really takes things to a weird level, and you know, Crash 2 does this as well. There's a boss battle with Engine in Crash 2 as well, and it also introduces a new mechanic. Not quite as strongly as this. But in the second game, you basically temporarily have the ability to throw Wumpa Fruit directly at him, and you need to hit the glowing points like this boss fight. He's a bit tanky. Nice thing is, you can just hold the button down to shoot stuff at him. So that's pretty nice. You don't have to button mash like some games. Alright, just try to get some damage in where I can here. Gosh, the controller vibration is so aggressive when breaking these parts off. It's very strong. And he's got a phase too. But so do we. Check that out. Look at that design. Some very cool stuff. Ooh, try to weave through here a little bit. Try to get rid of these side launchers first, because they're the most threatening thing that remains. Come here, buddy. There we go. I think that's pretty cool that we get a little companion team up. That's a nice little touch. And of course the design of the ship changing to be the tiger face is very cool. And now we can fire a bazooka as our reward. We got the Bandicoot gun. We can shoot Wumpa Fruit.
It's funny how history repeats itself.
Truly it is. Truly it is, buddy. And of course you would say something like that in the game about time. It's very apropos, dare I say. Oh boy. It's a little warm in this room. But not to an unmanageable extent. Oh, slow jump and oh wow. that zoomed me straight in there. I was not prepared. Oh no. Oh, wait. Invisible Crash makes my death tornado also make no sound? Oh. We saw that disintegration. Close up in 4K. I have no idea where I'm dropping here. There's so much happening. Here, sir, please. Sir, please. Thank you. Really stacking it up. It's very effective. And that's what it's there for. Now, I could deal with you the intended way, but I'm just gonna go around. Because the way you use the Wumpa Fruit Bazooka is you hold down the left trigger, you can aim it around, and you can fire at things. But it means that you're aiming with the same buttons you would normally use to move. So you stand perfectly still. So with these guys, you're meant to dodge them, and then they give you this nice big target. Which unfortunately in the trilogy version has a bit of a specific hitbox. You want to hit really close to center. Doesn't seem to really take properly if you don't. But yeah, aside from that enemy, it's mostly for taking enemies out at range or hitting boxes out of your way that otherwise might be kind of unsafe to attempt to extract with a spin or something like that. You've seen some crate stacks where there's regular crates and explosive crates kind of bundled together. It's good for situations like that. Like here, if you wanted to try and specifically go for the crate underneath, if you have better aim than I do, you can tell I don't use it very much. But it can be good for scenarios like that. Or if there's something that's a little out of your reach or is kind of in a scary spot to try and get to. Sometimes the Fruit Bazooka is just a really good answer to that. Pardon me, just sliding through. Yeah, those guys I just like to move around them. Just jump over to the side. Let them continue living their best life. Oh. Slow Runner did put me in a weird spot, but did not force a replay of the level, which, good or bad, I'll let you decide. Let's play some more Crash Nitro Kart, but it's definitely not a cart. Everybody else has carts. So yeah, trying to steer when you're in that turbo mode is quite challenging. I don't know how well it comes through from just watching the play. You definitely do not get very much maneuverability. Hey, buddy. Well, I'm definitely getting arrested. I'm just gonna ignore that ramp. See, I can see how these stages would be challenging ones for time trials. It's like driving off-road immediately takes the boost away. Just all sorts of different stuff. Once you get a feel for all of it, starts to connect a little more. But getting it all down in one single good run, it's definitely trial and error. We're not going for time trials today, so I'm not too worried about that. Well, considering the pace we're going here, I might actually do some of the bonus stuff. Because I don't know, when I was test playing through, I don't know why, but it took me a little longer to make it through the stages, but there's always more stuff I can tap into in this game. My shoes go flying. Excuse me, sir. Oh. I don't remember if I've ever run into them before. I guess that's what happens if you run into them while they're still carrying all their jars. I had no idea. Usually they do what they did the first time and just bounce me into something undesirable. Why don't I just go around you instead? Get this checkpoint finally. Play it a little safer there. Platforms are a suggestion. Sometimes. I see. I suppose perhaps I should watch my step here. So that doesn't happen to me again. See, I'm making certain approaches safer. And in levels like this, actually being able to hit some enemies you normally wouldn't be able to is also pretty handy. So those people that are throwing the fire jars out the window, if you aim right and they're within your view, you can cave in their windows, and so they won't be throwing fire anymore. And normally you'd have absolutely no way of dealing with them otherwise. That was just me misjudging the jump. Whoopsie doodle. Such things happen from time to time. Playing things a little more careful here. Just to try and compensate for my apparently somewhat unsteady footing. I do appreciate all the fruits and one-ups that are going through. Infinite jumps. Can we get into a stage soon enough to make use of it? No, sadly. I I appreciate the support though. We're going into
Crash.
We're going into Crash. That is the game. Let's go, Crash. Let's crash some bomber planes. I guess this one's closest. We might as well start with that one. Notably more tanky than the blimps. We can also address our aerial adversaries that are giving us a bit more of a direct problem. Keep them from even trying to fire on me in the first place. While we're clearing out the skies of the other major threat. Oh, spotlight. That certainly makes for an interesting job of aiming straight. I can feel the rumble in the controller when I'm getting hits. That doesn't help me aim the reticle. Now we just gotta go all the way across. All the way over there. We'll get there eventually. Almost there. Come on. There we go. And we are out of here. I'll say I have a lot of fun with this game. Crash 2 and 3 are definitely some of my absolute favorite games. So getting the Insane Trilogy was kind of a 2-for-1 sort of thing, in the sense that I had already played Crash 2 and 3 before and I get to re-experience them. But that was also my first time playing the original Crash Bandicoot game. And that was certainly an interesting experience. Because Crash 1's definitely a lot tougher. You don't have as many movement options to work with. And being their first game, the level design was definitely a little more demanding, to put it mildly. But another fun thing that the trilogy version of the game specifically added, Crash 1 apparently had an unreleased level that they didn't put in the game because apparently it was too difficult. They thought it was too difficult to put into the full release. And so you can play that in this game, and it has a time trial and everything. For anyone who's familiar, the name Stormy Ascent will definitely conjure some memories. I gotta beat the stage quick, because Twitch is gonna try to run an ad on me. I managed to stop it to some degree, but it's trying. It's trying. So I'll probably take just a quick 30-second break. I'll just get some water. And then we'll do a quick refresh of what we're here for. Oh, it's starting now. It's starting now. I don't want to play the game and be doing stuff while an ad's running, so I'm just gonna let that simmer. And real quick, I'm gonna get some water in me. I'm not gonna go anywhere specifically. We might as well take a quick water break because, whew, it is warm in here. All right, I think that we should be back now from ad break. Apologies for that. Usually I'm able to get it to not do those mid-roll ads for the duration of my time streaming. I don't know, last stream I had some issues with it not taking at all. At least this time it gave me something to kind of push it off for a while. Because normally what I would do is as soon as the timer starts up on the starting soon screen, I usually just run the longest ad I possibly can while nobody's gonna be in the stream before anything even starts up. And that way I don't have any mid-roll ads playing through the whole stream that I usually do for my regular streams, but also for this time slot that would work. Oh, he's having fun. He's having a good time. I am too.
Crash Bandicoot, for the last time, give the crystals to me!
I mean, I guess he really just needed he needed to borrow Cortex's hands there for extra emotive potential. Get in there. Get in the hole. Oh hey, you know the explosives he throws out, those are the mines. Those are the mines. How appropriate they show up for our final boss. It all works out in the end. Now it's time for the two masks to have a lovely little ballet where they pirouette constantly. Very pretty. Careful around these. Into the pit. Yeah, this music, I do love some of the remastered music. Like this boss theme is really well done. Gotta love when a remake or a remaster of the game just nails the presentation. And then we grab our final power-up, the speed shoes. You're basically meant to grab those before you attempt any of the time trials, at least the ones that require you to run on foot.
It again. This is not fair. Maybe I should retire to a nice big beach with a nice big drink and a woman with nice big bags of ice for my head.
It's not over, Bandicoot. There are still the gems. We still have a chance to triumph.
And that's your go back and play the levels hook right there. They may have gotten the crystals, but the gems are still possible. Oh, development support Toys for Bob. Yeah, that makes sense. So they did work on this game. Vicarious Visions is definitely the name that pops up first when they're going in. It's like, that makes sense. Yep, they were involved here too. Yeah, I was surprised when I heard about the Spyro game, and it's like, oh, it's being developed by Toys for Bob, and it's like, I thought thought something happened with Toys for Bob after Crash 4 released. At this point, though, now I'm not sure what that news would have been. And these credits, I think they run through the same music regardless of which game you beat, so it's just like a nice little medley of some music from all 3 games. And the first song that played was the hog riding music. Very iconic. But yeah, with the credits running here, I figure before we jump back into more gameplay, I do a little refresh in case anyone has popped in and does not know what we're doing tonight. So we are here raising money for APOPO's hero rats, which are trained to detect undetonated landmines and deadly diseases like tuberculosis. They do some very important and helpful work, as being able to treat diseases like that as immediately as possible can be, you know, with anything medical, time can definitely be of the essence. So being able to detect things sooner is very helpful in that regard. And with them being able to detect the ones that detect landmines, they're able to find those, and then those landmines can be safely detonated so that they won't harm anybody. And the land that's cleared of landmines like that can be given back to the communities that were affected by them, and they can use that land for things like farming. So they do some excellent work. And if you want to learn more about the organization, or even see some of the service rats that they've trained, you can check out their website there. I believe earlier we hit our team goal. We were going for, was it 500? Does that sound right? So we're at $35 out of my personal $100 goal. And appreciation to everyone who has donated so far, both in my stream block here, but also in all of the previous streams. Every bit of support goes a long way. Crash Co? Did I start a business and I didn't even know it? Alright, let's see what I can do with these time trials with crowd control running, because that's the other thing I have to keep in mind. Crowd control is still a factor. I don't remember how lenient the sapphire times are, because for the time relics there are several grades of relic based on your performance. So you can get sapphire, then gold, and then platinum. And I think there might be a specific one for beating the developer times. I've only ever gone for the platinums because some of the platinums are already super strict on their timing. Like, you have almost no leeway with them. Like, that was a relatively clean run. But that was only a gold. Thank you, Chaos Bot. Very cool. I'm not gonna be back in a level soon enough for that to matter. But cool that it's there. Yeah, I think if you look at the leaderboard, You can display target time here. Once you've acquired one of the relics, whatever your highest relic is, so like I got the gold relic, it then shows me the time I would need to get for the platinum relic. But I think the gold relic is the highest that you need for completion's sake. I'm gonna try and pick and choose the running stages because they have the most messing around that can happen from crowd control. I can't really pick and choose during the first run through because I need to beat all the stages, get all the crystals to actually finish the game. And now we have the luxury to pick and choose what stages we want to do the time trials for. So I'm going to pick the running stages as much as I can. Excuse me, sir. Coming through. One thing that's kind of an interesting difference I just tested right there. In the original game, touching the lava while you have the mask will make you bounce up in the air like you took damage, but it won't actually, damage you. But now it seems like you just kind of run on top of it like it's normal ground. Which I guess is nicer feeling from a gameplay perspective. You're not bouncing all over the place. But it is what it is. Yeah, see, like that was a gold time too. I don't know what the platinum times are off the top of my head, because it's usually the case that I know what I'm aiming for until I get it, and then my brain immediately moves on to the next stage. So I don't know what the time is for it. I have to look at it myself. Oh wow, 121 would have been the time. So I missed it by 22.22 seconds. Very close. So yeah, like that's how tight the timing can get. You just gotta be very efficient if you want the platinum times, but I don't think they're required for 100% completion by the game's standards. If I remember correctly, I think gold is the highest you would need. Time trials are always so hard for me in games. I don't play many games that have time trials, and I'm not much of a speedrunner. These games have kind of acted as one of very few exceptions. I don't know what it is about them, if it's something that the mechanics just kind of click for me, how much of it is driven by nostalgia and the fact that I just played the games as much as I did. But there are definitely some stages I have not had the resilience to try and get the platinum relic on them because they are punishingly precise. But to be fair, it is one of the bonus levels that you can only get to through like knowing the secret to accessing it in the first place. So that kind of difficulty is appropriate for how out of the way the level even is to access. But it's a pretty fun little challenge. I will say for Crash 3, I have not gotten all of the platinum relics. I did manage to do it for Crash 2, but it was not easy. There are some levels that require that it took so many attempts for me to get a run to finally be solid enough the whole way through to hit that mark. I'll say one good thing about the time trials though. You don't lose a life if you die during them. So you don't have to worry about that aspect of things at the very least. Oh, he is dark. Gotta be careful there. Speed climb, let's go. Let's go zoom in. Of course, it makes sense, but you also don't get checkpoints while you're playing through the time trial. So you do have to be relatively confident with getting through the level in one shot. I have to check and see how many relics I have. Since I'm playing these out of order, I can't rely on which level I'm on to kind of be the indicator of how many I have. Yeah, I think nostalgia definitely is a huge motivator for me when it comes to going for additional challenges in games like this. Yeah, I was like a few seconds off on that one. How many do I have? I have 4 relics. I want to get one more. Because I did the same thing with Sly Cooper. Like Sly 1 has the Master Thief sprints, which I think got mentioned on your stream last time, Pascal. I did do all of those at some point. And then with Ape Escape also has a time trial mode. And I did get gold medals in all of those stages, even though same thing there, some of those stages were particularly punishing. I did not even get the switch. I don't know how much corner cutting is necessary here. You just skip over this gap entirely under our own power. This stage in particular was a really nasty piece of work to get a platinum on. It's just your movement has to be so on point, and clearly mine is not. But it is easy enough to restart, which is pretty nice. But these are the kind of stages where it's like sometimes I have to look and see what other people have done for routing, just to be like, I'm not crazy. There's got to be a faster way to do this, right? And sometimes, like this stage, it was literally just I need to be cleaner with my execution, and that's all there is to it. Like I just have to move more efficiently. Sometimes, like the one secret jet ski stage I was talking about earlier, it really is down to there's a much more efficient route. Ooh, that was sketchy. I always feel a little nervous trying to make that jump. I'm kind of 50-50 on making it through there. But sometimes there is just a totally different approach to the stage and a completely different route than whatever I was attempting. So it's like, maybe it's worth trying to learn the different route because it's the only way to do it. It's like, what was this one? Number 9. I got a 5871. You need a 5390. And I don't feel like I slowed down too much during it. There were a couple of times I had to double back just briefly to kind of space myself out. But like that's how tight some of these times are. I have to shave off another 5 seconds from what I just did. And that's some crazy stuff. Yeah, so once you get 5 time relics, this platform appears in the center. And it takes you to this fun little secret extra 5 levels, which require a certain number of time relics to be able to access them. So like this one requires 10. But it does give you the benefit of you only have to get a sapphire or better. You can see this one's a completely new level, Ski Crazed. That's a completely unique jet ski level. But this one has the same name of a level we've already played. So some stages have alternative entrances, and that will lead you to secret collectibles you could not access any other way. So it's got kind of a mix of the two. And I will say this is a much simpler way of them implementing it. Most of what you would need to do in Crash 2 was like you'd have to find secrets within the levels themselves to then go to like a secret warp room, which then would let you access a specific, like going through unlocking that secret would unlock a specific additional secret warp. And it had the same thing where some of them are new levels, some of them are secret entrances to existing levels. But it's like the only way to access that warp room was to go through one of those secrets. I don't think you could go back to the secret area from the other normal hub portal areas. If I remember correctly. So this is definitely a much more straightforward way of handling secret levels, which I appreciate. Yeah, this music is so good. I listen to this. Like, this is the kind of thing I put on and just listen to for an extensive period of time. Careful there. While I'm like at work or something. I think it's just such a fun piece of music. No, life is being taken from me. So this setup, this formation of bombs shows up in a different secret jet ski level too. And you have to, for the platinum time relic, the time trial route requires you to kind of drift your way out of that setup. You cannot take it slow. You kind of have to drift at an angle to get out of it. And it is super sketchy. With these physics, it is really scary to try and do that. Oh hold on. I gotta go back for that box. Can't be leaving without all the boxes. I figure while I'm here, since we've got all the crystals, gems are basically the only thing left aside from the time trial relics. There are some really tight spaces like this. Really just gotta carefully line yourself up, which with the new physics can be really scary. But it's possible. If you're not doing a time trial, you get the benefit of being able to take it nice and easy. And part of why I took that one nice and easy is I didn't practice any of these stages down here. So that's the first time I played that level since whenever the last time I played the Insane Trilogy was, which has definitely been some years, definitely years. And I think I've got time for a couple more. Actually, you know what? This is exclusive to the trilogy version. This platform here gives access to future tents, which, to my understanding, this one was just a brand new development for the trilogy version of the game specifically. This is meant to be the ultimate test. Like, this stage will put you through your paces, especially if you want to 100% it and not just get through the level. So I think, considering the timing we're at, see, I was thinking that I might go longer than my 2 hours, but that was also assuming that I was going to be prevented from finishing the standard game within that time. But since it worked out that I actually was kind of ahead of even my own pace in a lot of ways, I figured, I guess we'll see where it ends up at this point. I think taking on the toughest level, well, arguably the toughest level in the game, would be a worthy send-off. Just see what happens. Especially with crowd control in the mix, who knows? Excuse me, sir. Don't mind me. At least they're kind enough to give you checkpoints. Which of course you don't have if you're going for a time trial or something. Yeah, trying to get all boxes on this stage, getting all the crates, it requires some ridiculous doubling back. Like, you gotta go all sorts of which way to get all of the boxes. So I'm not gonna be going for that this time around. Just getting through the level will be plenty. I think how it works, if I remember correctly, you have to basically... Oh, I thought I could sneak onto this side of that platform there. I did not get that luxury. Just gonna dodge it entirely then. avoid him. This place is kind of scary. Yeah, I think you have to go on the no deaths route, which means you have to reach the platform without dying in the first place. But then after that, you gotta go through. You gotta go through the no death route all the way to the end, grab the crates that are on the route, and then you have to backtrack all the way back through the death route again, and then continue the stage, or something crazy like that. So yeah, that's just like the main route of the level. Believe me, if you want a full showcase of how that stage plays out, ooh, it is. Going for 100% crates definitely puts that level through all of its paces. You really get to see the full scope of it. But I think that pretty well covers just about everything at least Crash 3 has to offer. All the gems and the time trials and stuff definitely give you a lot of replay value. There's a lot to come back through. I got through those fast. Thank you. It's a lot of practice. I've played through these stages a lot trying to do the time trials, so they're pretty fresh. They're pretty fresh in my brain. But yeah, very fun game. I enjoy it a lot. Something I grew up with, so I had a lot of time with Crash. I'm curious to see where they'll go from here. But with all of that, I think we are just about at the end of the time slot, and for once I'm actually not gonna be pushing past the 2-hour mark like I normally do. Because like this actually kind of works out as the perfect stopping point for this time around. It's not gonna be like the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe stream where I played for 7 hours total or something like that, which was kind of ridiculous, but I enjoyed every moment of it. It was a lot of fun doing some sort of randomized stuff for that. Got us past our 500 total to a total of 510. Awesome. Hear that, everybody? Y'all got us to our $500 goal for the whole Clowder Coup. And even $10 past that. So I believe the Radathon of APOPO has their overall event that everybody's contributing to. That's still going until tomorrow, right? Because I believe they're still going a little bit longer. Tomorrow's the last day? Okay. So yeah, anybody else who is using I believe the hashtag Hero Rats, I can write that in here. I believe this is the official tag they want people using for their streams, just to make it easier to find people who are doing the charity fundraising. And if you want to check out more info about the organization themselves, you can also check out their website there. But aside from that, I think this is a pretty good place to wrap it up. So thank you to everybody who put the Clowder Coup charity raid train together. Thank you, Pascal, for being the ever observant witness to it all, making sure everyone is supported in what they need at all steps of the process. Thank you to everybody on the Clowder Coup team who streamed today. Y'all did a wonderful job. We all pulled together, did some good. And doing some good is always good. And thank you to everybody who watched along at any point, everybody who has shared the streams throughout, everybody who's donated. It all goes toward a great cause. We redeemed 10k bits to make an extra large emote. You do you. Oh yeah, Chaos Bot is still going. I should probably shut that off. Ooh. When the task meow hits just right. That's the good stuff right there. All right, Chaos Bot, you can simmer down now, buddy. Yeah, this has been a lot of fun. And I'm glad everything generally worked the way it was supposed to. Last time I had to do some manual, quote-unquote, crowd control redeems, and they seemed to work pretty well, but it was definitely a lot more manual effort than just plugging into crowd control. But it was still fun, and it gave me something to do while I was watching everybody doing their charity streams for the raid train that time around. But yeah, always a pleasure to be part of these. Always fun to have people hanging around and supporting a good cause. But that will be it for me for tonight, so thank you everybody for joining in on the charity raid train. I'm gonna check one thing real quick. This is officially the end of our charity raid train part of things. But I'm gonna do one quick look at something here. Because I do have a raid target that I've been, I've added to my roster recently, within like the past month or so. One quick finish of all blueprints. Yeah, that's a quick one for sure. Definitely will only take how many hundreds of hours? But yeah, we will be coming back to blueprints at some point on my regular streams. But yeah, thank you all for being here and hanging out. If y'all want to see some more kittens, this is outside of the charity raid train. I just want to make that clear. But I usually raid into this channel called Care for Kittens. And it's basically a round the clock kitten cam. What they do is they take in foster kittens, it looks like. And so you kind of get some occasional updates on how they're doing and all that. But it's been a nice little spot to be able to consistently raid into. And I don't have to worry about, the content of the stream or the language of the streamer or anything like that, because it's always the same thing. It's kittens on a camera. Makes it pretty consistent and safe to raid to. So, for anyone who would like to join us in heading over there, I usually just kind of chill out in there. Nothing really terribly specific. So, join if you want to, but that will be officially the end of the charity raid train for the Clowder Coup this time around. Thank you to everybody who contributed to APOPO today. And thank you to everybody who was involved from the Clowder Coup. And big shout outs once again to APOPO for doing some incredible and important work and making a big difference in a lot of people's lives. So thank you everybody for being here and hanging out. And just know that somebody cares about you because I care about you. And until the next stream, take care everyone.